Coming up, a detailed look at the custom aquarium stand. So it was back in mid-August when Steve, the guy that actually built our house, arrived with the materials for the stand for the tank. And I knew Steve was the right guy for this job because he's a very, very talented builder and carpenter. So I was very psyched that he was on board for this, and he offloaded everything into the garage. And then it was my job to start painting. So laid out all the panels and the plywood and the trim pieces. And this was the first coat, the primer coat. I actually put 2 coats on of the finish coat, so 3 coats overall. But after I was done, Steve had to assemble the stand inside because actually it was just too wide to fit through the door, so it had to be assembled inside the basement. And there he's sporting a Reefbum t-shirt. Way to go, Steve. Anyway, so he put the stand together, and then he was gluing in some of these trim pieces on the bottom of the stand and tacking it in, all the pieces with a nail gun, and just really did a great job in terms of the assembly and working on the doors there. And this is pretty much the end of phase 1 in terms of building it. And then what I had to do was come back and touch it up with the paint. And what you'll notice here, there are no trim pieces on the top of the stand, and that was done for a reason, to make it easier to put the tank on top of the stand and not knock those trim pieces off. So Steve is actually working on the saddle right here, and this was not anticipated. I actually messed up with my measurements, and there was about a 1/4 inch of silicone that was sticking out after we put that initial trim piece below the saddle on there. So we had to do something, and that saddle just turned out great. You know, it really kind of accented the whole stand and really made it just look like a finished piece of furniture. So there are doors on just one side of the tank, and I'm not going to really keep any equipment underneath the tank. The only things that I'm going to have underneath there are the ballast for the lights and the controllers for the MP40s, but that's about it. And as you can see, these supports that Steve put in really beefed up the stand, both in the middle and on the corners and on the side. So this thing is rock solid and built like a tank. Now the stand was made of poplar wood, and what I want to also mention here is that I did not really consider anything other than a wooden stand. And you know, I knew that I wanted to have wood on the outside, but I was not really considering an aluminum stand or a steel stand. I just liked the look of wood, and I'm not sure in terms of how it compared expense-wise if I got a steel or an aluminum stand skinned with the wood, but my assumption was that it was going to break my budget. Hey, but if I'm off on that comment about a wooden stand being less expensive than a hybrid metal wooden stand, then please comment below. But overall, I'm just really pumped about the way this stand turned out. It looks like a piece of shaker furniture, which really matches the rest of the theme of the house in terms of the windowsills. You can see the saddle on this windowsill matches the saddle on the stand. And if I pan to the right, and you can see the other tank there, that's got a white stand, and it's, you know, the pattern, the style of that stand is a little bit different, maybe a little fancier than the newer stand, but I didn't really want to copy this older stand, and I think it's cool to have a couple of different styles in the room. And it's also got, you know, the older tank has this silver light fixture, and on the newer tank, I've got some silver/white Mitra light fixtures on there, so that kind of like worked out. Yeah, but overall I'm just really pleased, and I can't thank Steve enough. An awesome job. Anyway, many thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'll put links to Marine Depot and Reefbum in the video description below.